Today we are back. We did a new video, had been a while, but today we have something special, and therefore we have an appointment. We have an appointment with Dr. Katharina Ros. She is worldwide known for being the person, the veterinarian, what brings up the issue regarding the cervical issue, the ECVM issue. She brought it up, and also a few veterinarians probably might not like her because this is some new stuff. But I can tell everything what belongs to my work when there's horses, what I have to send there to her and to other vets in the group where she's working together with. After these horses are treated and we found out what the issue is, it's just a complete other story for me also with the saddle fitting. And so we can really reach fantastic results, what never would have happened without their knowledge and the treatment of the horses. There's new things. What they can find, what 4, 5, 10 years ago nobody knew that could be an issue, and Katharina is pretty much the face of the idea, and so I'm really happy to have her here and to share a bit what we do every day. Yeah, great to have you, Katharina. Finally we made it. We sit in our stable, and I'm really happy to have you here. Both of us made small videos in the past and try to explain a bit of what we are doing, but you and me together. So this is what we plan to do, to chat around and speak a little bit and yeah, exchange knowledge and share it with the audience. And it was always a lack of time, but now I'm happy to have you here. Let's start.
Willkommen.
Yeah, vielen Dank. Yeah, thank you, Carsten, that you organized this and that we meet up each other now and we can talk. Fantastic.
Yeah, super. Then we just shouldn't waste time. They call you Miss ECVM, and I know you hate it when I say this, but it's not that I just, want to make fun with you. It's, but it's a little bit when people ask me, or when I see in the web, in the social media, when it's about this new science and also these new findings regarding the cervical spine. I mean, they reduce you almost on this is ECVM, and I think it's interesting to hear your point, to see how it happened and how did it come up, and to get a feeling for it, what it means for you and where we are now. So that is something what is personally for me interesting.
Thank you, Carsten. Yeah, for me it's also personally important to tell what's how it's happened that we were finding out about ECVM. So I was invited by colleagues from Holland, and we were figuring out that the normal atactic horse, that's atactic in the young years, and it's the typical wobbler, where mainly the spinal cord gets compressed between the third and fourth vertebra, and they are atactic mainly in the hind legs, and they are mostly not very painful. That these atactic horses that we know were almost replaced by younger horses that were atactic in the front legs, and they were stumbling and falling over, and they didn't have the step between CE3 and 4. And when we figured out that all these young horses were so atactic, we started to dissect them together with colleagues in the slaughterhouse. We were having anatomic specialists coming over, like Jermaine Davis, and so we were dissecting many horses, also horses that we didn't understand. For example, a horse where the jumping rider said that motor in the hind is not working. We couldn't find it out in the living horse what was going on, and then it got euthanized to the colic, and then we figured out that there were dysplastic hip problems like in dogs, and we found many horses, neck horses especially, with bad elbows. And now we diagnose it in the living horse because we know how to look for it. And then we found more and more horses with ECVM C67 and rib problems, rib inflammations.
A malfunction of the ribs, I mean malfunction of ribs, ECVM, This is also a lot of, there is a question from my clients. I mean, I took in this jargon already, but I mean, what does it mean? It means, as far as I understood, it's just missing parts of bones, right? I mean, there's something what the horses should have, but they don't have it.
Yes, there's different situations. Either both bone areas are missing on the 6th vertebra, cervical vertebra. It's called ventral lamina. It's a surface half size of the hand, and it's on the lower side projecting to the hind of the horse, where a big muscle chain is connected very big to the number 6 thoracic vertebra, stabilizing and coordinating the neck and pulling the neck down. And then it's possible that one part is missing, both parts are missing, and that then the muscle can only be inserting on one side or reduced on one side and on both, and it can be connected to number 7 cervical vertebra, where we can have a transposition of that bone.
So that means the missing part is like adjusted on another spot just to make it happen somehow. So the body heals it to help the muscle to get adjusted on another spot to make the job done, right?
Yeah, when we have the connection of that muscle, big muscle chain, only from C7 to thorax 6, then the anchor point is 20 centimeters far to the back of the horse, and the biomechanics of the neck are totally different.
That's these wobbly horses, right?
And also we have to consider that together with the malformation T6 to 7, we have reduced dorsal spinous processes like bones that go up, where the muscles from above and the ligaments from above are inserting to the first thoracic vertebra and C7 as well, and they are also reduced, so they cannot stabilize from above. Also we know that, despite the drawings in the modern anatomy books, that the nuchal ligament lamellae that come from above, like a stupid elastic structure, they cannot insert into C7 and C6. They don't insert there, and sometimes also not into C5, and then we have a very big hole to stabilize from above in the C5, 6, 7 area. And then slowly we think about how stabilized is the neck-thorax connection with ECVM and everything
Sorry to
else.
interrupt, this is something what I have to have straight one more time. So the situation is there is a textbook for anatomy, what the students, the veterinary medicine students today use as like kind of basic for her studying this science. So, and in this book is written that there is a connection, like a thick ligament, what goes from the poll to the tail from the horse, and that one is connected to all 7 vertebrae of the cervical spine. So this is what every student of veterinary medicine learns today, that there's a passive suspension from the ligament of the neck, the long ligament, towards to all vertebrae. So there's a stability in the system. So, but in reality, when you made an autopsy, and they did thousands of those, Professor Mülling told me this, they only found it on wild horses from Mongolia and zebras and like some wild donkeys, but never in the warm blood population. So they did it a couple of thousand of times, but they haven't found a single animal, not
in the modern
with the modern
horses,
ones,
yes.
of course. So that means totally straight. They teach after a book what doesn't have the right picture of the modern horse. That's insane, right?
Yes, that's true. It's because in the old books, anatomy books from the 18th, 19th centuries, artists were like exactly drawing what they were seeing, and in the new books, the modern ones, they are very schematic drawings, and they don't show all the little details, and therefore it's not as precise as it has been in the old books.
But this is not ECVM. I mean, this is just a weak area in the same
True.
region, isn't it?
We know when we have horses ESVM 67 through the publication of Sanität 2018 that the function of the spinalis group and the nuchal ligament lamellae is reduced because the dorsal spinous processes are reduced at C67. Then we also know that when we have ECVM at C6 and C7, that the whole vertebra can be distorted in a way that we have one big and one small facet joint, and then we have one little and one big hole for the spinal nerves to flow into the plexus brachialis. And then also we have to consider that the whole nervous system has to pass the neck before it can reach the rest of the body and give nerve supply. So if we have a total distortion of a vertebra, it's not good. Also, we have the situation that at C6, the space for the spinal cord can be flattened, so that there can be a static pressure on the spinal cord because there's just less space. So the roof of the spinal cord can be lower in the C6 anatomically. That's what we are finding in the dissections as well. So there are combinations that are not good, and there are combinations that work together in a way that the horse has more movement, more front leg mechanics, but not necessarily pain from the beginning, or not necessarily a problem about that combinations.
Well, this is what I see as well. These movable horses, what we all like to ride, they are so easy to handle and so movable in the wither, and the front legs is high and everything what we want. So it seems to be ECVM helps to even the ribs, what is missing, as you said, it helps to make them easier to ride. So, and probably without wanting it, we selected the stallions in the breeding to exactly this kind of horse, because this is the one what we wanted. This is the good one. For us, with all what we wanted.
Oder hat man vielleicht sogar ungewollt?
Yes, we were breeding especially very good horses, and now we know from skeletons from famous old breeding stallions that they had, some of them had the malformation C67. We saw it in the skeleton. We were writing a paper about that.
So we have it for a long time.
So there are publications out of the 18th century, and they discussed in very rare cases of ECVM why we're breeding for it, and they were in whole Europe discussing already that it's biomechanically better to have the ECVM in order to have a very high front leg mechanic. So it's more ideal for the mechanics of the trot. So they knew about that already 150 years ago. And now that's like this, that we had a very not so flexible horse until I would say the 80s of last century, and horses had a different exterior. They had more stability, and now with ECVM they got more flexible, so they could go the side gates. It was easier in the course, in the jumping course, to turn them around. They had less resistance. They had more front leg mechanics in trot and in jumping, and now we have these highly elastic horses. So the soft tissue is so elastic. We have the long levages, long front legs, very long necks, and if these horses additionally on that properties also have ECVM, then it's almost not possible for them to organize the big mechanics and to stabilize their own body. So they have to learn how to move with this, and that's not always possible.
Also this is what I have to deal with myself as well. So the horses can't balance themselves anymore. They can't carry themselves anymore. Yeah, they have no balance.
Yeah, but for me, it's like this. We have horses with ECVM. We can support them. We have to help them, and this can be very good horses that are jumping the Olympics. Also, horses in the dressage Grand Prix sports. It's not a diagnosis per se where we say a horse with ECVM is a horse you can't ride or train or show. But there's a red line we draw. When the ribs are malformed or missing, then most of the horses cannot cope with it. Few can, but this is a red line. We shouldn't select for that anymore.
Sorry to interrupt, but this is also what you told me. Like for the last 10 years, you already, with your colleagues, you really see there's an evolution. What really, I mean, there's a sensation this is the wrong way we go to. It's going to be crazy and crazy, and they're really, really bad. things what's happening going on with some like stallion owners. They just have a construction crane where they bring up the stallion on the phantom to produce sperm. This is a really sad story, and this is, I think, is a no-go. I mean, this also ethic-wise, there's people what you should really ask for whether. I mean, I'm quite straight with that, and I really don't like it. But it is a point where I think it's enough. So there's, yeah. And these kind of, I mean, I have a lot of horses in the top sport as well. And there's quite a lot what does have, you would say, like neurologic like issues. They have a little bit of kind of ataxia. And there was recently the German dressage rider, he told me, you know what, you should have ataxia grade 1 because then the hind leg is even already good, so without work. But that's a sentence what we should just think about. And but that means ECVM is just a part of a horse like today, like any other part of the horse what you could have. So and it's something special. And the animal what you breed with a purpose, with a clear purpose, like when you have a terrier or like a whippet, you breed them for a special issue and like for a purpose. And so this you get something on it and you lose other things, and so it's never a win-win thing. So when you win something, you're going to lose something, and that means also that there comes some problems, and that's and they might be there forever. So, but I think they just come up now with the ECVM, and probably they had it before, as you said, but now you see it because the horses go so instable, so mobile. Yeah, okay, as you said,
also without ECVM,
maybe also without, but this could be just like, you know, the cream on the cake. So now they're crazy breeders. They tell me they're going to kill their horses. They're going to bring them to the slaughter because they think it's not good enough anymore. And that's also what bothers you, I think, that people is just not aware of it. This is a bigger picture behind, and you should really understand the issue before you just make these decisions.
No, there's many famous people that said really clever things. There's, for example, an interview from Züchterherz where they talked to Dr. Efmüller, and he says, for example, that we gained so much positive things in breeding, but now we really have to take care that we don't overdo it, so that we lose everything we won. So all the potential that we got is kind of on risk now. So like with the German Shepherd, where the hips are too low, and now we have to breed it back again to get a healthy animal.
Some of them trots like a German Shepherd. It's sad, but it's a super picture too.
Yes, correct. Explain. I think with the dressage horses we almost overdid it. Many of the dressage horses, they cannot easily carry weight anymore, and we need to breed neurological, good, stable horse. Of course, we don't want the more stiffer horses from the 60s anymore. We want both. We want a very rideable horse, and we want a strong horse, a healthy horse again. And therefore, we have to really change our selection criteria. The judging has to be changed. And I think we shouldn't select on young horses, young spectacular horses anymore. We have to select on the horses that need more time to, you know, grow, to mature, in order to breed for more long-living horses in the future.
But it's not the same horses anymore. I mean, if you look today, what wins the young horse championships, never the horses what wins Grand Prix usually. And so also the associations for the breeding, they also fight internally and struggle to find the right direction, because that's pretty much different goals, and the judging is also regarding this, that they judge the wrong horses, like depends where you look at. And the beginning would be if they should stop breeding with sick horses, like those what you have to lift up with a construction crane on a phantom, or you just have to look on these kind of things and have an idea about what you really want. And so me personally, I know a lot of like top horses what does have a tactic issues, and I mean also stallions, and there's also a job to do for the breeding association to take out a stallion when it's not working. But another big thing is also, like, I mean, you and me, we come a bit from different worlds, but for us and our clients, this is also a really, really big story, that there's so much chance to manage them much better than we do. So due to tech, like how you interpret the riding lesson and the treatment, like the whole management. So we had it in our intro. You can do so much more for the horses, and so that's why I'm so happy that we sit here, and I'm really happy and proud that we both sit on the table, because you and the small group of vets and friends, from all the vets, what I know, this is only a small group, but what really understand the big responsibility. So easy to complain, everything should be better and better riding and whatever. But I mean, there's also a clear duty, I think, from vets to also explain why things have to be different and where stop. So I mean, a judge, for example, that person doesn't have any background due to veterinary medicine. And they don't know these kind of things, most of them at least. And so it's the same education what they have, like a blacksmith and a saddle master or whatever. So this is just not enough to judge a horse. And therefore I think you are really in charge to explain to people and knock on the doors and tell me, okay, listen guys, this when it comes to breeding goals, when it comes to purpose, you have to look for stability, you have to look for fundament. I mean, you should just make them more correct, and you look on the length of the leg. So it's, I mean, what does it mean like high-legged? It doesn't mean that the horse is bigger, it's just that the legs are longer and the trunk are smaller, so that's less muscles on the trunk, so less power. And what does it mean with like soft fetlock? Soft fetlocks, this means that, you know, when this is just about physics. So when a horse moves, one leg is then in the air and the other one is on the ground. And the longer it's on the ground, the more, I mean, it's just physics. It's all the pressure is on one leg, and it's all the power is on one leg. So it's pretty normal that they break. So, and if you search and give big marks and I mean, this kind of horses, and they win, so you choose the wrong ones, and there's the moment where the veterinary medicine have to say, hey, stop, they all go broken. And you have to tell the judges also, don't make a 9 on this kind of movement. It's not a 9 when the horse won't last. Same with the saddle area. I mean, they gave a 9 and they don't even know where there is, and it is practically a 4.
Yes, there's a trainer in Holland. She's actually a veterinary colleague, Dr. Leibrandt, and she's rehabilitating horses with hypermobility for already 20 years. It's her main thing, and she's giving lectures and defining how low the fetlock should go in which gait. And now we are also comparing the hypermobility of the horse with the hypermobility of people, and we are establishing a gradation system, how to define mobility, normal mobility, flexibility, and then draw the line to hypermobility. And that's really horses that can comfortably scratch themselves under the saddle area. That's not normal, not a good thing. And what worries me is that very highly efficient trainers that for many years were educating horses into the Grand Prix level don't succeed anymore to really train these horses with a totally normal anatomical skeleton into the high sports, and that's not a good thing. Because horses got too soft, too hypermobile, and the thorax cannot be stabilized in these horses anymore. Not even for professionals.
This is exactly what I'm looking for, what I've seen every day. I mean, in the past, when you had the professionals, you could give them a piece of wood and put that on the horse, and they could ride a Grand Prix with that because they were just brilliant and they had a golden butt. But and the hobby rider, the amateur, they bought the 6th and the 7th saddle, and the professionals laughed about them, and they said, yeah, look here, Lisi and Müller, they should maybe take riding lessons instead of buying the saddle. So they were a little bit like, you know, from quite up and looked down and just told the people they should go and ride. And today, I'm more and more top rider, they can't fix it anymore. So when I have appointments in their stables, then they send the grooms out, and then in the evening I have to look on their problem horses. And so they have more and more of those, and even the top people can't fix it anymore. So so we have to come out with physical tricks, with fitting technologies. What makes it different? What makes them lighter? What brings them away of the horse? That was never the job in the last 20 years. So this is new. So the system is so fragile, it really can't carry the rider anymore. It's a totally new dimension what I haven't explored in this way. So, and 5-6 years, I think it starts up to reach a peak to something what I never had before. So even the professionals couldn't fix it anymore. So and that's top riders what I'm talking about. So and they always, you know, in Germany we say good riding is enough, but it's not enough anymore. It's insane.
Yeah, that's obvious to all my colleagues. We had the clients that were buying a fantastic young horse, and then they were winning all the young horse shows, and then 6 to 7 years old or to 8 years old they came to appointment and they were crying and devastated, and I said, stop, I tell you what happened. And they say, why? How could you? I say, I tell you what happened. You were winning the young horses shows, the horse was as good as never before, then you started to train the collection, and out of a sudden, the horse is not rideable anymore. You cannot even ride them, you know, the young horse normal stuff anymore. They don't connect to the bit. So this was a running gag. It was always like that. And we treated the horse, and we got a really good professional to help them. And then after a year or so, the horse was very good anymore, performing, and you know, getting better and better again.
Yeah, but that's what it is. Like 3, 4, 5 years olds, they have the big saddles. They have this big like Europlat. You just hang in and, you know, legs up and big blocks. And the problems comes later when they're 6, 7, 8. Then finally you want something.
And now we have a situation that the very good professional has the same problem like the amateur. So he's winning the light and medium classes with 80 and 90%. He's educating into the collection. He's learning the horse to do the gallop walk transitions. And out of the sudden the horses break and they can't be trained anymore and they are sold away cheap. So yeah, this worries me. And then also what me and other colleagues worries is that when we X-ray a lot of young horses, that we see more and more high-graded ECVM at C67, plus malformations of the first, second rib or missing ribs. And that's really bad because we're selecting into that direction. So I think now it's the time where we as veterinarians have to speak out in the public and talk to the breeding associations, you know, from all kinds of directions, and also really consider changing the selection criteria.
Exactly.
We have to talk about all the premium stallions that are not rideable, that are neurological, that cannot really stand on their legs anymore, and they're still used a lot. And we have to talk about inbreeding coefficients in general. We have to talk about the qualities of mares that we are using. So there's a lot to change, in my opinion.
What is also I mean, main thing is the judging. I mean, we just have to look for the right judging. I mean, we can do what we want, and we can discuss this for hours. As long as the wrong ones win, and the wrong one get licensed, and the wrong one gets like a prize as a mare. As long as there's no sense in this discussion. So I mean, as long the judging is all about having a stallion on the hand running around crazy with a lot of tension, and then this the winner. It's just not the story anymore. And we had been recently in Holland. That was really funny. There was a guy who told me, you know, I was really proud to found the right saddle, and the horse moves over the back, and I was really happy. And I said, you know what? We don't need the back. We just need legs. So as long as this kind of story wins, I mean, judging makes breeding, and so we judge what can win. And so that's exactly what is behind. I mean, look at the German Shepherd breeding. I mean, when the judges make them to the champion who have the worst HD, then it's going to be the father of a lot of puppies. And then there's no chance to solve it. And so, and I love that you really name it in your position as a vet. So, and that's what we both have as a plan, that we just want to try to really make it a little bit more noisy what is wrong in this whole system. But I think this is a key thing to do it. And it's not about to blaming anyone or whatever, but it's also to manage this one. There's a lot of people have a horse like this, and they have this. And when the horse does have everything, like this malfunction in the ribs and ECVM and is super hobble, those horse is lost, we just can't catch them back, they are lost. But there's a lot of them who just have parts of it, and they you can manage and you can make them better and you can help them, but you have to understand what is the issue and where's the weak point and where's the other point. And so we really have to, I mean, you really have to help them to have a good day and to also be a successful sportler. And I think there's a lot of things to do what have just parts of only this chain, and what we just have to protect also for wrong riding and wrong accessories and all the other things. So, but we just have to look at for the breeding, with otherwise the chance to get the wrong one is really bad.
And then I want to say, after X-raying a lot of studs for quite a long time, I also had studs with mares, where all the mares were jumping on the S level with very low management. They were, you know, from the pasture, with the foal in the trailer, on the show. And so they didn't have a lot of support, and still they were really stable and clinically good into old age. And if we have performance mares like that, I think we should breed with them. And lots of friends of mine, they're breeding, and what we do is we take these mares and we do a lot of breeding analysis to find stallions where we think there is a quite high chance that we have gained foals with no ECVM or less ECVM, and that are for sure stable foals. And I think that's something we should spend a lot of energy in with scientists to get better breeding.
What I think is very important is, and that's okay, it's pretty much this format is a bit too big here, but there's one sentence what is super important for me. I mean, and we just had the pleasure to look at our horses, and you X-rayed all our horses, and it was something what was super interesting for me to see. But this is also something where I want to make a call to all the vets outside, which sits in a little bit of an academic tunnel. So it's, I mean, most of them, they don't have a stable, they don't have own horses, they don't even ride. And so as a rider, you can feel it, you can touch them, you can really feel it, what it is. And I can do that myself, because obviously I'm a horse guy somehow. And so I just send these horses, these clients' horses. I have them here. They want to have a saddle. I touch them, and they are so stressed. They are painful, and I send them to the vet, and the vet home says, "Oh, there's nothing. I can't see anything on the X-ray," because they don't touch a horse anymore. They have a lot of technique what they put on the back of the horse, and they do strange measurements, and they have like all kind of X-rays and scintigraphy, and I mean, this is all good to have, but that doesn't help if when you touch the horse and it have pain. That also says something. It's a message, I think. And a lot of your colleagues don't even touch a horse anymore, and that's a big issue for me. And they also never ask the rider. I mean, the rider feels it. You really feel when the horse is not okay. And I really miss this, and that's a personal thing for me, that I really want to spit out that call to everyone outside. Just touch the horses. And I mean, if you touch me and I have some pain, and I'll tell it hurts, and the horse does the same. So just ask them, and then you really can see what kind of problem it is and where it is, and and then you can start over. But I think it's very, very interesting when you see your own horses. I mean, we had the pleasure with our own breeding concept here. Most of the horses I know myself. I know the stallions from clients, obviously, and so we choose them like by coincidence, not having an X-ray, but it felt good. It felt good when you touched them. It felt good when you see them moving, and so you came to the right conclusion. But that's a gift what not everybody have, and so there's necessary to get a call from outside. That the breeders also hear this, but also the vets should listen to the riders. When the riders say it's a bad feeling, then go for it and search for it. Search until you find it, instead of say, yeah, but the X-ray is fine, so I don't know why the horse feels lame. When it feels lame, it is lame. So, and I love that you bring it to a point of this.
Yeah, and that's what we hear a lot. For example, in the Hengstadt from Roman, we were X-raying some horses, and the family, they are all riders on the top level.
You feel it as a rider.
They were estimating if the horses had ECVM right or left or bilateral, and many times they were right. So they could the X-ray findings, they could understand from the riding, but I mean they're very professional riders, so they feel it.
There's also amateurs. What I does have as clients, and they also want to know what it is, and they care. They really care, and they start to get a feeling for it as long as they know what it is about. And you shouldn't underestimate those people as well. So, and then it's also more pressure on the so-called experts to make the job better.
Yeah, we have to see it positive, and we have to search for solutions. For example, my
don't bring them all to the
19-year-old
slaughter,
cornered
man.
Oberlensky jumper, who has quite a lot of ECVM and facet joint arthrosis and instability of the lower neck, everything. He's super to ride.
It looks like we fixed
He
something.
was 19 and a lot better with your new saddle, I have to say, but you have to train him regularly. If you don't do it, he will get worse quite quickly.
Yeah, well, that was a lot. I think it was great to had the chance to speak about all these kind of things. And you and me, we just plan to have some videos more to explain even more detailedly what you found out, what I found out, what we found out together, and just take our clients and yeah, all the people outside with us for those what we see on the modern horses. And yeah, I'm looking forward, and I'm
Me
really
too,
happy
fantastic,
that we
thank you.
made it today.